Thank you, Dr. Neha. Am I audible?
Yes, very much audible, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor. After the very interesting Hindi session, it's time to start the international session. Today is the 1996th day of uninterrupted daily webinar of Ifph. Before beginning the session, let's have a silent prayer. Hello, doctors, students of homeopathy, and friends of homeopathy. Today, on this day, on 1996th day of uninterrupted daily webinar of Ifph, we are going to have a panel discussion. Are we making doctors or mere degree holders? I'm Dr. Binduraj, the moderator of this session. Bridging the gap, the need of finishing schools in homeopathy for clinical excellence and professional competency. We do have eminent personalities as panelists, Professor Dr. Kulwant Singh, Professor Dr. Rashmi Shukla, and Dr. Srikant Tilari. To open the session, to start with, let's welcome Dr. Professor Kulwant Singh, former Dean and Faculty of Homeopathy, Vinoba Bhave University, Jharkhand. Let me make him the co-host. So let's start. Doctor?
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. So I sincerely thank all my colleagues from IFHP and the attending physicians, students, and doctors. So let us start with the topic. And our topic today is bridging the gap, the need of finishing schools in homeopathy for clinical excellence and professional competency. I'm really appreciative of the selection of the topic of today's seminar, because this is a very, very important and burning topic for nowadays clinicians. What happens is that in the modern era of evidence-based expectations and informed patients, finishing schools in homeopathy bridge the crucial gap between academic knowledge and real-world clinical excellence. They transform degree holders into confident, competent clinicians through supervised case taking, practical training, and outcome-based training. With rising competition and digital misinformation, finishing schools strengthen diagnostic clarity, ethical practice, and professional accountability. They cultivate mentorship culture, clinical discipline, and mastery in repertorization and remedy selection for consistent results. Ultimately, finishing schools restore public trust, elevate standards, and position homeopathy as a credible future. So now the thought of the day is that whether we are producing doctors or degree holders only, and what is the case for finishing schools in homeopathy. So there is a degree holder who is having some qualities, and there are doctors who is a practitioner, they are having certain other qualities. What happens is that a degree is a proof that a student has passed examinations, but it does not guarantee clinical competence. Does it ensure sound judgment in difficult cases? Does it prepare a graduate to handle a confused patient, an anxious family, or a failing prescription? This is very common. So in homeopathy, knowledge of organon, materia medica, and repertory is essential. But we also need analytical thinking, remedy differentiation, follow-up strategy, and above all, responsibility. The practitioner must be responsible in all aspects about his studies, about his selection of medicine, about his treating the patient, about the responsibility amongst or against the patient. This is where the concept of finishing school in homeopathy becomes vital. It's a very new concept, very novel concept, And I fully appreciate the idea of having such schools, which will definitely enhance the capacity of a student or a passing MD to become more efficient. So finishing school is not about more theory, it is about refinement. It is about supervised clinical exposure, mentorship under experienced practitioner, practical case discussions, and confidence building. It bridges the gap between classroom learning and real world practice. Homeopathic graduates do need structured clinical grooming before independent practice. This is very, very important point and aspect for being a successful practitioner in life. If we truly want to strengthen public faith in homeopathy, we must ensure that every graduate represent competence, clarity, and compassion. Nowadays, what happens is that, to be very frank, we do not have much of a scientific evidence so that we can prove that how our homeopathic medicines are working, how we are competent. There is a lack of evidence-based homeopathy. Only thing which will help us to stand in the society, which will help us do better in the society, that is evidence-based homeopathy. When we collect the patient, we treat the patient, we take proper case taking, and then if the patient feels better, it gives credit to homeopathy. So let us aim not to produce degree holders only, but confident clinicians, not just individuals, but responsible healers. I use the word healers because a degree makes a graduate, but after mentorship and experience, make a successful doctor. A difference is not in the degree, it is in the depth of clinical thinking and the courage to take responsibility. Degree holder, who is a degree holder? Degree holder passes examination, he holds academic qualification, but he may lack independent case management skills. Whereas a doctor thinks clinically, individualizes every patient, and takes responsibility for outcome. So a degree holder is someone who has successfully passed examination. They have fulfilled academic requirements. They possess knowledge, have studied the textbooks, and understand the syllabus. However, passing exams does not automatically translate into independent clinical competence. It is not necessary. A degree holder may still hesitate while managing a difficulty, selecting the right remedy, or taking responsibility for long-term follow-up. It's very difficult for a new doctor to convince the patient for a long-time follow-up. On the other hand, a doctor experienced is more than a certificate. A doctor thinks clinically, a doctor listens beyond symptoms, observes beyond words. In homeopathy, a true doctor individualizes every patient, understanding not just the disease, but the person behind the disease. A doctor does not merely prescribe, a doctor analyzes, evaluates, reflects, reviews. When a prescription fails, a doctor reacts and corrects. When a case improves, a doctor understands why. The difference is not in the degree, it is in the depth of clinical thinking and the courage to take responsibility. And that is the knowledge which will help you heal our patients properly. So what is the training gap, as Dr. Binduraj told? Yes, there is a training gap, and that is one of the most vital points in education of homeopathy. What is the training gap? Doctor versus clinical efficiency. This is the doctor. He is academically trained, academic and theoretical training is there. He has a medical knowledge. He has some research works. He can diagnose some. But this is the gap. After this gap, there are doctors. This gap, this fractured gap, this should be healed properly with patient communication, time management, work optimization, decision making under pressure. This is very important. Decision making under pressure. So there are soft skills, there is practice management, there is real-time problem solving. So bridging the divide requires target mentorship, practical skill development, and continuous professional evolution behind the classroom. While our academic curriculum is comprehensive, there remains a significant gap between students learn and what when they are expected to practice independently. One of the major concerns is insufficient hands-on case-taking practice. In colleges, we have a proper training, we have a proper education, but maximum of the colleges lack the hospital facility. The colleges which have complete support of the government or a big houses, they can have good hospitals. But normally, when you go, I have visited at least 60 to 70 colleges during my inspectorship of the Center Council of Homeopathy. And that was the basic knowledge lacking in the education, that we did not have proper hospital training. Maximum of our students, after passing, they joined some allopathic nursing homes for clinic part of training. It's a very common practice. They join some nursing homes where they get a good amount of money for doing the so-called internship. But after completing 1 year or 2 years, their mind is changed. They want quick results. They converted to mostly allopathic practice to get easy results. So their homeopathic concept becomes loose, becomes less. So that part we have to take care, and that care can only be done if we have good hospitals and good doctors, good teaching doctors. So they are expected to practice independently. One of the major concerns is that insufficient hands-on case taking. Case taking is the heart of homeopathy, which we know. There is no doubt, second opinion about it. So students often observe cases, but rarely get enough structured opportunities to independently take, analyze, and present the case. And without repeated practical exposure, confidence cannot develop. Secondly, there is limited exposure to chronic and complicated cases. Real-world practice is filled with multi-layered pathologies, long-standing illnesses, complicated cases, patient mixed miasms, mixed symptoms. Without an adequate training in managing such cases, graduates may feel overwhelmed when they encounter them in the practice. Another important gap is that the lack of mentorship under experienced practitioners. It is very difficult to get a proper mentor to help you in your practice life, to guide you in case taking properly. Additionally, minimal training in clinic management is also there. So what we should do is that we truly want to strengthen our profession, we must bridge this training gap. So what is the concept of finishing schools in homeopathy? So this concept is a new concept, very novel concept, very useful concept for homeopathic development. Bridging the gap, there is practical training, soft skills, and professional development for homeopathy. So we should produce true healers, not just degree holders. Structured clinical training is one aspect where there is guided remedy selection, the follow-up evaluation, there is case management, refine accuracy, and such structured grooming builds competence and reduce dependency on shortcuts. So we should develop clinical confidence, we should promote ethical and scientific practice, and we should strengthen public trust in professional excellence. And public trust is only there when you have an evidence-based homeopathy. When the patient comes, when the patient hears from others that you have cured such and such case, and you have the clinical evidence of that, then only the patient is convinced. And best publicity, you get this mouth to mouth. Mouth to mouth, word to mouth publicity helps you gain confidence, gain number of patients, which is essential of life. Second is well-trained clinician deliver consistent and reliable results. This enhances patient satisfaction and public faith in the system. So what is a finishing school? We are talking about the finishing school. So what we expect from a finishing school? So it should be a postgraduate practical training platform. It should be intensive case-taking workshop. There should be live supervised clinical practice. There should be training in repertorization and follow-up analysis. And there should be focus on ethics, communication, and confidence building. So it should be a postgraduate thing designed to refine and polish clinical skills after formal education. It is not another degree course, nor is it a repetition of theory. It is the bridge between academic learning and real life practice. In a finishing school, learning should be practical and intensive. It should include focused case-taking workshop where students should repeatedly practice detailed case recording, symptom evaluation, and analysis under expert guidance. Because in homeopathy, the quality of prescription depends on the quality of case taking. It should also involve live supervised clinical training. Beyond clinical skills, a finishing school emphasizes ethics, communication, confidence building. A good doctor must communicate clearly, practice ethically, and stand confidently behind school transport. There are some hindrances in our practice, and this is also necessary, very necessary point for having a finishing school before joining the practice. Number one is there is a social media confusion. Today, social media has become a powerful tool, but unfortunately also a source of confusion. Every day we see posts claiming cure for all diseases, even for conditions considered untreatable. Half knowledge, viral reels, promotional content mislead the patient. This creates false hope, unrealistic expectation, and ultimately distrust in genuine medical practice. Go to the YouTube, you will find thousands of homeopathic doctors who are giving lectures and who are prescribing, who are giving you, suggesting you 2, 3, 4 medicines for every disease. And the worst part is that they claim that you take these medicines and your problem, your leukoderma will be cured within 1 month. Your spondylitis will be cured in 15 days. And I don't know how we can stop this practice. Recently, NCH has come out with a very strong notification against these kind of things: advertisement, wrong teachings, uh, social media misconceptions. But legally, no action has been taken. Legally, no action is taken against these things. But it is a welcome step by NCH that they have come with a very strong notification. Second, there are specialist doctors, so-called specialist doctors. Another growing concern is the rise of so-called specialists. You can see they can claim miracle cure. They give you 100% guarantee, and you just take this medicine and this medicine, and they advertise the company also. They will take a file of Brahmia 30, which will be of a specific company, and tell you that, oh, you take this Brahmia from this company, and you will be all right. So there is a very, very strong nexus between these things which we'll have to fight, with the student or teacher or doctor will have to fight. There is promised miraculous cures in a short time. Medicine is a science that requires individualization, careful case taking, and ethical responsibility. But this is not possible in these cases. And second very important part is the pharmaceutical companies. I know they will be very angry with me, but these companies are launching multiple formulations for every disease, often backed by heavy marketing, incentives such as gift, tours, and financial rewards, which influence prescribing patterns. Young doctors and students exposed to constant advertisement and bombardment may get misguided. Instead of learning principles, they are pushed towards product-based. And there is a gap between college and clinic. There is a gap between college and clinic. There is a science and theory, and there is a practical part of it. So there is a clear gap between what we are taught in the colleges and what we face in clinical practice. In college, we learn theory, philosophy, but in clinic, survival pressure and demand for quick results often force a different approach. Bridging this gap is essential for maintaining both ethics and faith. And as I told, that there is no strict law on misleading. This is very important, and all associations, societies, and CH, it should take very strongly with the government. or it will help us. So lack of strict laws, finally, there is insufficient enforcement of strict laws against misleading advertisement by companies and malpractice by practitioners. So in short, these are the points which are necessary for making a finishing school. So what is the way? So the way forward is bridge the gap between education and practice, strengthen public confidence. Public confidence, if not there, you will not succeed in practice. Produce competent clinicians, get confidence of patients with evidence-based results, encourage mentorship culture, transform graduate into true healers. This is very important. Transform graduates into true healers. So in a short time, this was what I wanted to say. Thank you so very much. I hand over to my colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. And it's interesting. Let's listen to the next panelist, what Dr. Rashmi Shukla is going to say. Let's welcome Professor Dr. Rashmi Shukla, founder, CEO, Homeo Edge. Doctor, you can add. For 15 minutes, we can speak on that. And next, we are having Dr. Srikant Tillari to join us.
Sure, sir. So, respected Dr. Binduraj, sir, very, very respected Professor Dr. Kulwant Singh, sir, and Srikant, sir, and all other senior doctors and the students, everyone out there. Whenever I see this kind of IFPH webinar, most of the time, even if they are like, at a very short notice period, I still try to make it join it. Because what I see is with high respect, sir just told that it is 1996 the webinar that we are running. So it's not just the number; it's the commitment and the guardianship that the run by that is run by Sani sir and the whole team. So I always bow down to the consistency, the efforts, and the trying. They are also the kind of impact that they are trying to be created. So I feel always honored and respected by being here and trying to share my views over various things. Sometimes people may like it, sometimes people may not like it, but we all are here to make the things likable and not to please each other. So please don't mind if because nothing is personal here. We are for a common mission, and that too, like serving humanity in a better way with homeopathy. When we kind of discussing or trying to discuss the topic where the need of finishing school in homeopathy, Kulwant sir said that it's a burning topic, but it's not just for homeopathy. I think every graduation and every education out there needs this finishing school. You see, there are people who are graduate and management, postgraduate, they can't even write an email. So basically, not a single system, specifically what I can see in India, is right now, every system requires, every education field requires finishing school. So we are not special. Everyone requires, so we are also requiring it. The best scene will be like at the end of the discussion. I think whenever, if I'm giving the opportunity to speak, because as a concluding remark, then definitely we'll have that next level picture about it. Because I really look up whenever it is IFPH talks, that the things have started to go somewhere. Some impact has to be created, that ripple effect. If we are saying something, then someone is hearing and they are spreading, they are thinking, everyone, all of us think over what we spoke, what we heard, what new things we learned, even I. So that ripple effects ultimately is imparted to the people out there who are either policymakers, who are senior educator, who are senior clinician, who are really, really important authorities of IFPH. I don't have a presentation because it's a panel discussion, so it has to be kind of discussion. So I hope still I can make an impact and convey my message in whatever best possible ways. So even if like nothing is personal, everything is professional. So even if it might sound critical, but it has to be critical, because if we don't really reflect upon what we are doing and where we are going, I think then people are there to criticize us, and that is what really happening, that we are still being criticized. So basically the question is, are we, like from general to particular or specific to homeopathy, is are we producing doctors or degree holders? That's the basically question from where the need of finishing school kind of concept might have come up. So Kulwan sir said that it's a very good and important and novel concept. Yes, because why it came? Because somewhere, I don't know from where it came, but finishing school had been a consistent and active concept, specifically in corporate structure, where industries could not find the immediate graduate to be very employable and functional, like who can deliver what they are meant to be supposed to be delivering. That's where that to bridge that gap, the concept of finishing school has come up. For homeopathy, consciously, subconsciously, many institutions are trying to have their school of thought probably, but then they are some or the other way finishing school only. So yes, but let us not go into their format and their opinion, but they are a sort of finishing school only, because they are again teaching graduates to take the case, understand, interpret, analyze, and then create an action plan. Their systems could be variable, but they are sort of finishing school. What is happening? Last month I was called upon to write a proposal for a research project where Indian knowledge system IKS has invited the some original research projects. Somehow our team just could not finish that submission, and we probably would be doing it in the next cycle, where they just really wanted that that so what IKS, how IKS can inspire the current educational policies or system. And it's an esteemed department of Ministry of Education. So I really loved that, the kind of fonts and the kind of motivation that now Ministry of Education has shifted to. And health was also again an important category where they have invited the research proposal. I definitely started working over it, so I definitely had some drafts, some references, some researches. And what the question is, we are not even producing doctors. uh, it would be harsher when we could look at the other systems of medicine. They are not just being degree holder, they are not just being doctors, they are being money making robots. So this is what actually we are doing with healthcare worker. And not homeopathy, it's for whole medical system, because of so many things. Let us not get into it. Everyone knows us why this is happening. So basically, first of all, why we are discussing and what we can do about it. So that's the first thing that I think that topic needs, that point needs a kind of clarification. Because if you see the number of people who have joined, you see the number of people that are involved, you see the number of people, I can always see Manoj sir taking notes, so the kind of involvement that is seen from his side. So it is always because of the kind of why everyone is sitting. I mean, probably I am sitting because I have to come and speak, but most of the time I am not sitting there. So because my why probably, or I'm not synergizing with the topic or the speaker, whatever reason could be. But the why is very very important. That why everyone, why we should listen this topic, because what is there in me, in it for me. That's the always every human logical mind is asking कि मैं यहाँ बैठा हूँ तो मैं क्यों बैठा हूँ, मुझे क्या है इसमें, मेरे लिए क्या है. So this is the general question every logical mind is looking for. So the thing is that as a senior clinician, we first of all should be taking the responsibility, because things or change starts from you. So it's okay that institution, system, education policy, what they should do. Yes, but we can do, what I can do, what Manoj sir can do, what Shrikant sir can do. So it is very important to really first of all figure out that what we can do about it. So the first thing that we have done very successfully is we are discussing about it. At least we are thinking about it. At least we are trying to provoke others to think about it. Over YouTube, it might probably make think people, many more people to this is the topic, and that point has to be thought. So basically, being a clinician, I think most of us have some interns, some assistant doctors. So whenever they come to us, they are there to learn, and they are apparently graduate, and they are like interns or even freshers, or probably even few years of completion. If you can, we ask them to take the case independently. I think none of us can dare to do that. There is a hesitation, because when we ask what is your line of treatment, there's a confusion because they don't know, and the reasons are very well explained and listed by Kulwan sir. So when we ask that why this remedy should be given, why not that, basically they don't ask any question because they are blank. There are rarely students who will come up and ask and argue or probably fight that why this remedy, why not that remedy, because they are blank. There is, when we ask them, then there is a silence. So this is not incompetence. Probably the students standing out there with us is probably the toppers, probably they have scored very well, but this is not incompetence, this is a gap, and that gap is a practical application gap, and that is really 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 valid. Why this particular topic or need of finishing school is right there is to bridge that gap. Somehow institutions are not able to bridge that gap, not homeopathy, not MBBS, not Ayurveda, no one. Somehow somewhere they have accepted that okay, doctor needs a good communication skill, so they have incorporated that couple of communication skills. No doctor is taught about finances, no doctor is taught about the management. So basically finishing school will fill that gap. So that's the major need, that to fill that gap, besides the technical education of homeopathy, the general skills that are required, that we all learn by doing lots of mistakes. So the student should be fed with a structured format of this kind of training. So basically this is something that is the first point, that is the requirement of bridging that gap. The details are very well taken by Kulwan sir. The second thing is as a clinician, basically what responsibility we can carry. So basically, first of all, if whatever we have become, with whatever mistakes we have become, or whatever goods that we are learning or growing with, we need to impart that on our junior. Here, that secrecy thing, and I think that the world has enough resources. I don't think we need any competition. The world has enough patients and enough sufferings. We really don't need any competition. We only need the competence. So basically we really need to transfer that knowledge, so that the next generation of doctors needs to be shaped in a particular way, so that they don't do the mistakes that we have done, and they don't need to learn that hard way the way we have learned. So basically we need to, because when my MD was from Dhavle's ICR, Mumbai, and I chose specifically that institution because I was told that it was having, because I did my undergraduation from Nagpur, although I was getting admission in Ayurveda, because my father was homeopath, and second, there was a hospital, there was an institution that did exist in Nagpur, which had almost 100 IPD and almost 100 OPD pure homeopathy. So that was the thing, the kind of learning that we wanted. And for Palghar ICR also I opted because the kind of exposure or the kind of, because we used to be left into any of the tribal region and we were left to handle the cases, think about it, do about it, follow about it, and create the result. If we are not able to understand, talk to seniors. We have done everything right from delivery to everything. So we actually learned that, and that's why how we have learned. So these could be, that's why that institute was a kind of a center of excellence. So I think these kind of center of excellence needs to be come up. If any policymaker, national commission is really trying hard, but that hardness is needs to be really moderated in a right way, because the right thing needs to be shaped, and I hope you guys are getting that, that balance has to be achieved. So basically we have to understand that because when I was doing my MD, I was told, or I have somehow understood that when I'm observing a clinician or senior, I need to copy his mind, why, what he's thinking, why he's giving puja, why he's giving kali self. So I need to understand that mind process, and that's the thing where the discussion should come, that what physician is thinking about it. So that thinking model has to be imbibed, the first place. Second is, if there are failures, we have to be candidly talking about it. Okay, where here, this is where we have missed, and we need to speak, and actually not only speak but to show the ethics. We need to tell them how to balance commerce with compassion. So ethics, also empathy, and homeopaths are naturally empathetic and givers. So definitely that's something that's innate to them, because our master has shown that. So basically, if we want the competent doctor, we want the ethical doctor, we have to be visible one. That's the very important contribution, that we clinician from our clinic can be the center epicenter of change. So all of us can be a change. So we have to really identify our own modality and how to impart that onto the students. Now the larger educational reality I have already shown, but we have to also learn from the best institution. For example, in India, National Institute of Homeopathy is one of those center of excellence. It has gained its status because of creating certain operational format. Pulsatilla is given there, Pulsatilla is given in Kerala, and Pulsatilla is also given in the probably any institute in Maharashtra for that matter, or in Madhya Pradesh for that matter. But the way the things are happening, that operational thing needs to be replicated. The director of NIH, the operability of NIH has to be replicated everywhere, and for that training part, where only principles are need to be taught in a particular way, the way these model institutions are actually growing themselves, how they are creating results, why, how their teachers are so committed. I've seen also that government college in Lucknow, I saw that the kind of passion and zeal that does exist in the teachers, that was really lovable. So that needs to be replicated, that needs to be highlighted, that needs to be shown, so that because once you correct the institute, the all students and all the generations are automatically corrected. So that's very required, that institutional mindset change has to be there. So having a finishing schools in homeopathy is not an insult. It's nothing, basically. It's very important that we are not saying by adding on finishing school that the colleges are inadequate. The world has changed, its demands are changed. The world, the kind of evolution and transformation is going on. We really need to be in tandem. The kind of diseases, the kind of clarity, the kind of learned educated patients that are coming up, we really need to sound learned and practical. So for that we really need to have those institutional reformation, that transformation is done. So I think I would broaden this concept, or probably taking it to next level by having finishing school for homeopathic medical institution itself is again a super school is required who would just train the institution how to become the center of excellence, probably would be the whole thing. I don't know who can do it, how that can be happening, but I think, thinking is the first step, speaking is the second step, and then that ripple should go on. And we have got good promoters for that. We have got good experienced people for that, who would just realize the need and really forwarding that to, because it's like collective consciousness thought. If we think about it so desperately, so intently, I think things should definitely come up. So the thing is that when my introduction was given, then it was told that I'm a founder and CEO of Homeoed. So Homeoed is the concept came up after having my long learning journey in as a learner and also as an educator. So what I have seen is Homeoed is just an effort to fill that gap up, where students should be exposed to every best faculty. I always used to tell my students that you tell me you want this faculty, you want George with Aulkas, I'll bring that up. So that's the thing, that you need to learn everything from everyone and then understand that what you need to pick up. So basically students are not it's not the thing that students are dumb, they are not intelligent, they just need structured transition. Because that structure is there, then the way I think, the way any of the senior is thinking and creating the result, that replication they need right mentorship, they need a clear thinking process, clarity in their thinking process, they need good guided clinical discussion. Now the sir said that most of homeopaths join the allied this thing, because they fail to see the first of all, they're not coming out of passion. Second, they don't love homeopathy. Third is they are not proud of being homeopath. Fourth is they don't see any reason to be proud of, they don't see any homeopath to be proud of, so that they join. Those who find someone, definitely they are then sticking to homeopathy and being really loyal and performing and competent under his mentorship, or probably that role modeling could be something that might be motivating it. So basically that confidence will come back. And this is what I have realized when I worked with, and I'm working with students. I understand that the moment they feel the confidence in homeopathy, they feel the homeopathy is competent, they will be definitely motivated to work hard to gain the knowledge and work. So I don't want them to look for any mentor. I want everyone of them to become a role model and mentor themselves. But definitely to rise up to that journey, they need to go through that journey of
Thank you,
being a
Doctor. And let's welcome our next panelist, and he need to add more.
definitely.
Dr. Srikant Tilari, consultant physician, Cancer Care Clinic, Prana, Pune.
Yes.
Dr. Srikant.
Yes,
Please,
sir.
doctor.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Hello, everyone. It was nice listening to everybody's perspective on the how to bridge the gap between from degree to practice. So I think this question all of us have, especially if we are educators, especially if we are teachers. We want to always bridge this gap as far as possible. So I will just share my journey, and through that journey, if some of us can learn something, pick up something, that will be helpful. So, see, when I was joining BHMS, I was fortunate. I had some friends who here in Pune were doing MBBS simultaneously in one of the top colleges, government colleges. So we used to always share notes. We used to see what is taught in BHMS, what is taught in MBBS. So long story short, what I can tell you is more or less by the end of 5.5 years, there's not a lot of difference between our knowledge, their knowledge, our skill, their skill. The whole difference comes after MBBS actually, where they really put in 1 or 2 of years firstly to get into some postgraduate course, and most importantly, their postgraduate is only and only patients. They have only 10%, 20% lectures, 80% is patients. And they will see patients day in, day out. They will see at least 100 patients every single day for the next 3 years. And then obviously someone is ready to then start seeing patients. You have good knowledge, good clinical knowledge, everything. So while some of us have pointed out that our difficulties don't stop only with knowledge, because there is also the question of how much public acceptability is there, how much people are willing to come to a homeopath who has just started treatment. So there are also financial implications and all of that. But I think if we have good knowledge, somehow something in Cosmos does help us to, become successful in life. See, I can tell you this because my background, I had nobody in my family who was, anywhere related to medical field. I was the first person to come to medical field. In fact, my father, after I passed out, he thought that I will start earning money and I will help the family. I was from a middle class family, so there was always expectation that now he will. But then by the time I entered third final year, I was very clear I want to do homeopathy. And internship, I told him, now it's at least 2 3 years I have to study, and then I will be able to earn. You have to give me more money. So for him it was shock, but luckily, so as I told, Cosmos helps. Things happened. I was able to, study and focus on developing clinical practice, and not have the need to support my family. So second very important thing, why did I have that conviction, no, that no, I want to practice, is because I got good teachers, good mentors. And me and my friend Dr. Devang Shah, some of you may know him. So we used to roam all over Pune city, and we used to ask homeopaths, please take us in your clinic, please take us in your clinic. Nobody would take. Everybody would tell us, now you're in third year, come in final year, come in interns. Then we would say, after internship, we knew our situation, family will ask us, what are you going to do, how are you going to earn? So while we kept searching, at the end we did find good teachers. I found very good teachers. They taught me, Dr. Pradeep Sethia, Dr. UC Kulkarni, Dr. Sunil Anand, Dr. Rajan Sankaran. These were principally the four teachers, but I had many other teachers also through seminars and all of that. So I think the main, when the game shifts, is when we really start seeing patients. As I told you, even after MBBS, BHMS, we are all on the same boat. The real game changes when we start seeing patients. And we have to see patients day in, day out with a good clinician. So I used to see in our college OPD, like sir said, there are very few colleges which give good clinical education. I am from Dondu Mama Sathe. At that time, there was a lot of good clinical education available. All these teachers, other than Dr. Rajan Sankaran, used to teach in our college, and that's how I got exposed to them, and I learned from them. And I saw at least, I think, 120, 130 cases every single week. That amount of cases I saw for at least 3 years, and every single case we used to study. We used to study materia medica reference, we used to study rubric reference, we used to study pathology, we used to understand clinical examination. So everyone who is looking to, transform themselves from being a degree holder to a clinician, these are the main things that you have to see. If you are fortunate enough, if you get good teachers, if you are getting good exposure to see patients, then please focus and put your effort. It's not that I saw this patient, that teacher gave this remedy and that was the reason they said. No, we didn't stop there. Suppose my teacher told me that, Shrikant, bryonia has chronic of bryonia in headaches is nitramure. Sir, I want reference. Go and read Kent. I will read Kent and I will come back to him and I'll say, sir, it is not written there. It's not written there. Okay. Then he would say, it was not Kent, it was actually Tyler. Then we would read Tyler, and then we would say, yes, sir, that there it is given. So first is there has to be a lot of effort from our side also, as students, as learners, that how much effort are we putting in? And I'm telling you again and again, if you have the inner desire, Cosmos will make sure the right teacher and right resources reach you. It will come to you, don't worry. And if some of you are feeling my only problem is resource, I will say the resource is not there because the desire is not there yet. It has to become stronger. This is point number 1. Please focus on your own desires rather than looking at all external experiences, because the core idea of homeopathy is everything comes from within. All disease, all problems are inside us. Everything else is external. Nothing is a problem till you the in another words, when there is a will, there is a way. You will find a way, and especially in today's situation, there are a lot of ways. There is lot of opportunity to learn, and especially in Mumbai and in Pune, we have lots of opportunities to learn and get clinical training. So, like Madam said, she learned from ICR. I learned from from other song, and we are doing our own work now at Prana. So if you want, you can go to other song. There you have clinical training. We have master's course there. I myself teach in master's course. We teach from basic, starting from case taking, repertorizing, how to study materia medica, and we show cases. We show live cases. Every single case we take for 1.5 hour. Then we sort of come down, we ask every student to analyze the case, we solve every student's difficulty, why to pick up this symptom, why not to pick up this symptom, how to convert this symptom into repertory language, how to then search all these remedies that have come up in your repertorial totality, how to differentiate materia medica. Every single thing we handhold the student, and we are telling students day in day out, you do our PTCH course and see 200 patients. 200 patients you see with us. Our promise is you will become a very confident prescriber. You will 100% become a very confident homeopathic prescriber if you do 200 live cases with us. It's a promise from our side. So if some of you want to learn, if I may share my screen, we are starting with our next PTCH batch from March, 16th of March. Where is the date? Okay, I can't read. So 16th of March. So here, as I told you, our program is very similar to what I told happens in postgraduate courses in after MBBS. So first 4 days, there is only little bit of sort of training. So morning we will learn case taking, how we will take case, what we are supposed to see in this case, what we are not supposed to see, how to elicit mental symptoms, how to elicit characteristic symptoms. All this we will learn for the first 3-4 hours. Immediately in afternoon we'll see one live case. Everything that you learn in the morning will be implemented in the evening. Every single question that you will have will be answered. Similarly, we will do with repertory, materia medica, and sensation method. So all this you can learn through live cases, and a trailer of how good live case based training can be, it will be demonstrated from 16th of March in Pune. I invite all of you who are really interested, who really want to become successful homeopaths, who want to really bridge this gap, which is the topic for today, between becoming a degree holder of homeopathy to becoming a clinician. So all of you can become clinician, and as I said, the the only thing that you need to work on is your desire. If you have the desire, the resources are there, and if you want the resource, I have also given you the resource. Please put in your time, your effort, and all the resources are available. And especially because of Zoom, because of all these online platforms, YouTube, so much information is already available. I myself am putting so many free videos on YouTube. I have what repertory videos, I have materia medica videos. Go watch them, everything is free, but all that is knowledge. The problem is, in our science, knowledge confuses, knowledge prejudices us, knowledge makes us see things that we know, that we are aware of. But the real skill of homeopathy is to be able to see what is as it is. To
Thank you,
see what
doctor.
as it is, we will have to have this clinical training. So just 1 minute, sir. So anybody who wants to learn, who wants to become good clinician, this is one good opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you. And in this discussion, our panelists explained a lot of things. Professor Dr. Kulwant Singh explained the schema. He demonstrated with a lot of slides and all. And Professor Dr. Rashmi Shukla also mentioned a lot of facts. And here, Dr. Srigant Tillari just demonstrated with how to bridge the gap. He even demonstrated by showing how he is planning to have a finishing school with these things. Okay, excellent. And now we need to have discussion on these. Let us welcome Dr. Manoj.
Thank you, Dr. Binduraj, and we must congratulate Ifph for conducting such a seminar. And as rightly mentioned, first of all, the students should have a desire to become a practitioner. From where they will get these ideas? From their teachers. But that is often never happening. That's a real truth. We must accept. Then another thing is that is directly connected with income. Everybody is looking what will I get after the education. So, in order to, unless and until we must answer or we must give some solution this problem, it is very difficult to bridge the gap. That's a fact. Anyway, I think Dr. Rashmi Shukla explained, it's quite natural or it is present everywhere, not only homeopathy, it's a fact. We know that the allopathy, after 9,000 seats are remaining vacant in India, out of India. Thousands of seats are in medical colleges. Why? Because a 6-year course is too much to a student in these days. So they want to study only 2 or 3 years, they get some income. So these are real problems. Anyway, we must try our best. And Dr. Srikant Talari is definitely informed or his ideas how to fill the gap. That's also good. Anyway, let us try together all of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Manoj. And the time is about to finish. And let me welcome Dr. Dhanesh to add more.
Yes, good evening, all, and thank you, Dr. Gullian Singh, sir, Dr. Professor Rashmi Shukla, and Dr. Srikant Selari. Oh, the presentation was really excellent. This kind of discussions are the need of the hour. We know that our junior doctors are finding it very difficult to move forward because even though they are having BHMS, MD, and everything with them, unfortunately, no patients with them. That is a problem. They don't know how to move forward. Somebody to guide them. But what happened is that, practically, what I have seen is that when I was a junior student, junior doctor, what I have seen that a lot of North Indian doctors came over to Kerala, and they even talk about a single medicine in a big way. A day, all day, they were discussing even about a single day, but nobody, and that too about a rare remedy. How one can, how a junior doctor can proceed like that? But the thing was entirely different when we brought some local doctors who were having more than 200, 300, 400 patients every day. They came over here and delivered their clinical tips, and then they were most of the doctors were able to flourish in the good way, and that's how they get practice. And according to most of my friends, what they are telling is that your own homeopathy is the best, whether you follow this doctor's some school, somebody's school. It doesn't matter. You can accept everything from all school and you can move forward. That's what I would like to add to this session. Thank you, Dr. Bindujaj, for making giving me a chance to speak.
Okay, let me welcome Dr. Ram Pravesh Shah. Thank you, Dr. Dhanesh.
Thank you, Dr. Bindu Raj ji, and everyone. Namaskar. Join dynamic guest, Dr. Kulwant Singh ji, Dr. Rashmi Shukla, and Dr. Srikant Tilari ji. Very nice. Describe the beautiful education and degree holder and homeopathic. So, if education aims at service, education aims at service, skill, wisdom, and healthy, be producing two doctors. Homeopathic, yeah. So very, very thanks. Thank you. And Dr. Tilari is the Ghar Homeopathic, Har Homeopathy. Very, very
Thank you,
thanks.
Doctor. Thank you, Doctor. Next, I welcome the Vice President of IFPH, Dr. Shaji Kudiat.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Bindraj.
Yeah.
Our time is already over, so I just make a short note of this discussion. And this is a very timely and needed discussion at present for homeopathy. And as Dr. Reshmi said, not only for homeopathy, in everything we need to succeed. We need a further education after the graduation. But homeopathy, it needs special attention because, in my opinion, it is not only patient specific, it is doctor specific also. So the doctor specific approach makes it very unique. So the current science that governs the scientific approaches and understanding in medicine is just a linear science where they have different methodology, but the medical science should be holistic science based. That should be a non-linear science that makes a huge difference. I'm not going to details of this. Later, in coming days, I will be also giving a session on the same topic. But what we need, the urgency, the need for a finishing school is because the younger generation who graduate are finding difficulty to practice because different philosophies, different schools teach them differently, and they become confused. As Dr. Tiwari Srikanth rightly said, knowledge is confusing nowadays. So that confusion needed to be guided properly in a non-linear way to make a holistic scientific approach practically possible to become practically successful as a professional homeopathy doctor. So the need for the school finishing school is to make an average intelligent homeopathy doctor a successful practitioner by accepting and understanding all different methodologies available among the successful homeopathy doctors among us in different parts of the world. So we need to make their studies, their prescriptions, their philosophy, and bring them to the awareness of the younger generation, and they need to choose their own doctor specific way so that they will be able to succeed in their own way, because in nonlinear science it is really doctor specific, as we say patient specific. So that's all for today. I hand over to Dr. B. Vinduraj. Thank you, and I appreciate Dr. Kulbin Singh, Dr. Reshmi Sukla, and Dr. Srikant Talari for coming and expressing their views. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Shaji Kudir. And it's time to conclude. On behalf of IFPH, I thank Professor Dr. Kulwant Singh and Professor Dr. Reshmi Shukla, Dr. Srikant Tilari for their excellent viewpoints. And this session again will be continuing in the next days also with more persons to add their viewpoints, and the session and the discussion will be continued. Thank you all who participated this session. And now it's time to start the Malayalam session. Over to Dr. Mariamma John.